The all-new three-row CX-90 is the largest vehicle that Mazda makes. I'm Tom Voelk for the Seattle International Auto Show, and I'm testing the plug-in hybrid version. In every dimension, the 90 is larger than the CX-9 it's replacing, but still tucks into most garages. With 3 rows of seating and a reputation for balanced handling, this is zoom zoom with some family room. There's a turbocharged inline 6-cylinder engine with 2 different tunings. Both are 48-volt mild hybrids. All-wheel drive is standard on every CX-90. Thinking of dipping your toe into the electric vehicle lifestyle? The powertrain that I'm driving is a plug-in hybrid, so there's electric power when you want it, gas when you need it. The EPA rates the all-electric range at 26 miles, which will surely disappoint the glass half-empty folks. But let's do some math for the half-full people. If you charge this every night but miss 2 weeks out of the year, because, that's going to happen, and you only get 23 miles out of the pack, that's still 8,000 miles of all-electric driving annually, 2/3 of what most people cover. And electricity is usually a lot cheaper than gasoline. A base preferred model begins at just under $49,000. This top trim premium plus version MSRPs for $59,000. There's a strong argument that the Mazda gets a best-in-class cabin. There's that premium positioning for you. Comparably equipped BMW X5 and Volvo XC90 plugins hover near $80,000. The gas side of this powertrain is a 189 horsepower 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine. The electric motor makes 173 horses. United, it's 323 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque, with the tank filled with specified premium fuel. That's similar to the performance-tuned version of the inline 6. Generally, the gas engine doesn't fire up. This is a hybrid after all. Like gas-only models, this has a geared 8-speed automatic transmission. There's a drive shaft running to the back tires. Manual shifting is a thing. This is a Mazda after all. Switch drive modes and the gauge cluster will let you know. Dampers are fixed, no adjustments there. Also, when in sport mode, it assumes that you want full power and kicks the engine on. The 17.8 kilowatt-hour pack can be charged using the 4-cylinder, and the driver can set the level, but plugging it in is much more efficient. The crisp head-up display is large with lots of information. While driving, it's hard to show you here. In EV mode, this is only using the electric motor. Duh, and so it's not going to be as snappy off the line, but here's the thing. Electric motors, lots of low-end torque. This is fine for city driving. It really is. In case you're wondering, once the battery is depleted, this will just automatically switch into hybrid mode. No fuss, no muss. And here's the thing, even if you're in EV mode and you floor the throttle, the gas engine will kick on. You'll know this because there's kind of a click at the end of the pedal travel. So essentially, you've asked it to do this. Using both gas and electric, this will spool up to 60 miles an hour in about 6.5 seconds. And there's plenty of passing power on 2-lane roads. Isn't it great when things work together? Don't you wish humans did that more? I had the CX-90 for a week and charged it nearly every night. Most days I burned through the pack and ran miles using the engine. But after 7 days, I only used 2 gallons of dinosaur juice. For those who hate going to the gas station. In the real world, I am seeing 24 miles of all-electric range, and the temperatures are in the low 70s. So there is some potential to save some money here if you plug it in. In gas-only mode, the plug-in averages 25 miles per gallon, the same as both inline 6 engines. One reason to go with the 6 is towing. Both tunings of that tug 5,000 pounds. The PHEV's max is 3,500. But my guess is this will mainly attract parents that appreciate fun from behind the wheel. The plug-in hybrid is the heaviest CX-90 that you can buy, weighing in at some 5,200 pounds. So a Miata this is not, but this still delivers Mazda-grade handling. And unless you've been living under a rock, you know that Mazda does driving dynamics really, really well, even in a three-row crossover. The suspension is double wishbone up front, independent multi-link in back, a great start. Bend it hard into a turn, and Mazda's G-Vectoring Control Plus reduces engine torque and applies the rear inside brakes ever so slightly. This is imperceptible to the driver, but the hairs on the back of your neck will sense that there's more control and precision happening. The hybrid's dynamic is smooth and well done. The transition from regenerative braking to using the physical discs feels normal too. And there's a setting in the menu to increase recuperation drag. Evangelists of pure electric vehicles don't seem to understand that EVs don't work for every household, especially busy families without easy access to level 2 charging. Plug-in hybrids will at least get them a lot of electric range. If it's difficult or expensive to run level 2 charging out to your parking spots, plug-in hybrids do a great job of charging on 120. I know, I do it. My very old house is far away from my cave of a garage that's set into the side of the hill. Now, this will charge up essentially overnight. But here's the thing. Even without a full pack, the petrol side of this powertrain will always save your bacon. Unless you run out of gas. CX-90 can't use commercial DC fast charge terminals like the smaller Mitsubishi Outlander, but I did take advantage of some free level 2 stations in my neighborhood. In the time it took to grab some popcorn and see a movie, I had a full charge, 2.5 hours. The materials in this top-grade Premium Plus model are elevated from what you'll find in most mainstream three-row crossovers. Depending on the model, there are different trim materials in the CX-90, so check for that. Mazda's use of glossy black plastic seems to be a thing of the past. The wheel is heated, so are the seats, vented too. The chairs are supportive without being restrictive, covered in Nappa leather here. Mazda's user interface has a good layout and flow. All functions in the Mazda Connect section are accessed by this rotary dial. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are finger-friendly. Only the base model plug-in hybrid gets a bench seat in the second row for stuffing 8 people into the CX-90. The top trim levels seat 7. This row does the usual stuff that you'd want. Those in the way back will appreciate if you're considerate with the seat position. There's separate climate. The Premium Plus version adds heated seats. These pockets are especially big. Doors open wide enough to get car seats in and out. Both seat backs get storage. Getting to the rear is easy enough. Small kids might have an issue stepping up to get in. Adults will find the path a little tight, especially for my size 11s. I've set the travel of row number 2 about midway, and now that I'm settled at 5'9", I'm okay back here, keeping in mind that almost all three-row crossovers and SUVs have cushions that are very low, so your knees are going to be up high. Headroom, I've got enough of that. Knee room, the same, and if the seat was back in position, I could kind of slide my feet underneath. Now, there are belts for 3 back here, but unless they're very skinny adults, you're only going to want to have 2 back here, even kids. There are some accoutrements back here, like cup holders, and each side gets a USB port. There are no pockets on the seat backs, but that isn't common anyways. With all of the seats usable, there's 15 cubic feet to fill. A few things like the portable charge cord stash here, and there's a temporary spare tire under here. That and things like these will help make life a little easier. And since the cargo space isn't very deep, it's easy to drop the backs. The Turbo S model is available with captain's chairs instead of the third row bench. This configuration is a respectable 40 cubes. In full-on Costco trip mode, the CX-90 is good for hauling 74 cubic feet of Cheerios, rotisserie chicken, and that really large flat-screen TV your spouse warned you not to buy. Mazda has always been a brand that infuses soul into its vehicles. That's commendable. And that mission works well for elevating the brand to a more premium position. For dedicated parents looking for some driving passion and environmental responsibility, the CX-90 plug-in hybrid is tough to beat. Check it out at your local Mazda showroom. For the Seattle International Auto Show, I'm Tom Voelk.